everyone that's joining us on Fox Sports West. Terry Smith with you here on the Angels Baseball Radio Network. The lineup cards are getting ready to be exchanged at home plate, and let's run down today's starting lineups for the visiting Angels, who so far this spring come in with a Cactus League record of 2 wins, 2 losses, and 1 tie. Most of the regulars in the lineup for the Angels today. David Fletcher will be leading off for the Halos. He'll be at second base. Mike Trout plays center field and bats number 2. Dexter Fowler will be in right field for the Angels, batting third. Albert Pujols will be the Angel cleanup batter. He'll be at first base, batting number 4. Justin Upton in left field will hit fifth. Jose Iglesias, the shortstop, will bat number 6. The catcher, Kurt Suzuki, will bat 7th. Max Stassi seeing his first action this spring. Won't be catching, he'll be DHing, but Stassi will get a chance to bat out of the 8 hole. And playing third base for the Angels today will be Luis Rengifo. On the mound for the Angels will be Shohei Ohtani, the 26-year-old right-hander, 6'4", 210 pounds. First start this spring for the Angels. Ohtani only started 2 games last year for the Angels, struggled in each of them, worked just an inning and 2/3 altogether last season, and then was eventually shut down as far as pitching. Ohtani gave up 3 hits and 7 earned runs in the inning and 2/3 a year ago, had a high ERA of 37.80, but all indications are Ohtani is back on track from a pitching standpoint. He's looked good in workouts so far this spring, and shortly we'll get a chance to see how he fares in his 2 innings against the A's. The lineup for Oakland today looks like this. Mark Hanna in left field will lead things off. Elvis Andrus is the new shortstop for the Oakland A's. They signed him in the offseason after Marcus Semien left as a free agent. Semien signing a 1-year deal with the Toronto Blue Jays. Matt Olson at first base will bat number 3. Matt Chapman will follow. He will be the cleanup batter at third base. Today will be Chapman's first game of the spring for the Oakland A's. He's coming back from some injury issues a year ago. After that, Mitch Moreland, who they picked up in the offseason, will DH and bat number 5. Ramon Laureano, their outstanding center fielder. He can get them with the best of them out in the outfield. He will bat in the number 6 spot. They will have Chad Pinder follow, as he will be batting number 7. He'll be in right field. Tony Kemp will play second base for Oakland today and bat 8th. And Ramos Garcia, the catcher, will bat number 9. Pitching for the Oakland A's, James Caprillion. He is a right-hander, 27 years old. He had a birthday on Tuesday, 6'3", 225-pounder. He was in 2 games for the Oakland A's last season, both in relief. 3 2/3 innings, allowed 4 hits, 3 earned runs. He was 0-0 with a 7.36 ERA. Caprillion doesn't figure to be in the starting rotation for the Oakland A's. In fact, their starting rotation, if everyone stays healthy for them this spring, figures to be the identical rotation they had a year ago when Oakland came away with the first place finish in the AL West. The umpires today, Doug Eddings will be calling balls and strikes. Ted Barrett, the crew chief, will be the umpire at first base. Pat Hoberg at second. And the umpire at third base will be Nick Marley. So we are just about set for baseball here in Mesa. Down the lines, 340 to left, 350 to right, 411 to dead center. Power alleys, 385 in left center and right center field. We're ready for baseball here on this Friday. Here's the first pitch, and that one is a little bit low. We're underway, and the count 1 ball and no strikes. Batter for the Angels, leadoff man David Fletcher. Fletcher hadn't been in the last 2 games for the Angels, but back in the starting lineup. He's fine physically. And here's the next pitch. And that one is pitch that he takes for ball 2. It misses 2 balls and no strikes. Fletcher officially this spring 1 for 1. He's had a bunch of walks as well. And he's been on base every time he stepped up to the plate so far. This is his 3rd game for the Angels this spring. 77 degrees at game time. And the first pitch was precisely on time today at 12:05 Pacific. Angels have the red tops, gray pants. Here's the next one from Caprillion, and that's in there for a called strike. David Fletcher, 26-year-old Angels second baseman. Caprillion is a pitcher who pitched at UCLA in his college days, originally with the New York Yankees. Got acquired from the Yankees by the A's back in July of 2017. That's when the A's traded Sonny Gray over to the Yankees. Caprillion, one of the players who came over in that deal, and then he eventually ended up having Tommy John right elbow surgery that year as well. Here's one that's fouled off on the right side. Long run for the first baseman Olsen. It's back to the seats and out of play. Caprillion was a first-round pick of the Yankees back in 2015. Did not pitch at all in 2017 and 2018, coming back from the Tommy John elbow problem. Fastball slider pitcher. He has a curve and changeup. Rarely uses those pitches. Very good slider. Fastball topped out around 97. So Fletcher has worked the count 2-2. Waiting on deck patiently is Mike Trout, and the next pitch, and that is a called third strike. Caught the outside part of the plate, and Fletcher is out looking. That's the game's first out. Mike Trout will be the next batter. Trout just 3 at-bats so far this spring with a hit. Around the infield for Oakland, they have Matt Olson at first base, Matt Chapman at third, Elvis Andrus, their shortstop. Tony Kemp is the second baseman. In the outfield, Mark Hanna in left, Ramon Laureano in center, Chad Pinder in right, Aramis Garcia is catching. And the pitch, and that one is right in there for a called strike. Mitch Moreland is the DH for the Oakland A's today. So 0-1 on Mike Trout. They have a left side infield shift on. 3 infielders on that left side. And the next delivery, Trout lifts it in the air down the right field side. Long run for Pinder, chasing near foul territory. It's going to drop out of his reach. He had a long run and just couldn't quite get to that one. So Trout stays alive. And want to remind you, Angels baseball is being brought to you today by In-N-Out. That's what a hamburger is all about. Two strikes on Trout. Dexter Fowler waiting on deck, just underway from Ho-Ho-Com Park in Mesa. This used to be the Chicago Cubs spring training home. They're in Mesa still, but it's Sloan Park that opened up a few years ago. Beautiful facility in the same city of Mesa. And for many years, the Oakland A's had spring training at Municipal Park in Phoenix, which isn't all that far from Tempe Diablo Stadium, right up Priest Road, actually. That is very close to Tempe Diablo. Here's the next pitch. That's a little bit up and in and misses on Trout. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Brian Butterfield, the Angels third base coach. Jeter Hines, new first base coach back in the Angels organization. He had been in the Angels organization for a long time. Long-standing relationship with Joe Madden. And the pitch, that went on Trout. It misses inside, and so the count on Mike Trout, even it's now 2 balls and 2 strikes. Jeter Hines now down his 23rd season overall in the Angels organization. He was with the Angels in the 80s and 90s, in the early 2000s, now back here with the Angels in 2021. And there's a pitch there that gets a piece of Mike Trout, and he's hit by the pitch on that 2-2. So Trout shaking it off now at first base. That pitch coming in on Mike Trout, and boy, it got him right around the left shoulder area, above the padding that he wears on the elbow, but Trout shaking it off appears to be okay. Angels have a 1-out base runner. Caprillion, who's on the mound, he kind of has the reputation of being a guy that gets a little amped up when he's on the mound, and he's working for the first time this spring. The Oakland A's have, on purpose, stayed away from using their starting rotation this spring, and they're going to do that the first 2 rounds this spring, where none of their scheduled starting pitchers in their rotation are going to pitch in games, and that will continue into next week. And then they'll start to sprinkle in their starting pitchers into the Cactus League games. Oakland A's so far this spring, 2-2 record. This is their 5th game. Angels playing game number 6 this spring. Counts 0-2 on Fowler with a right side infield shift on. Trout not going to pitch. Bounce foul over on the first base side, so we'll do it again. And the count remains at 0 balls and 2 strikes. The rotation for the Oakland A's, mentioned it's going to be the same as a year ago. Every one of their starting pitchers back. Chris Bassett, Jesus Luzardo, Frankie Montas, Sean Manaea, and they signed Mike Fiers late in the offseason. He's back with them as well. Pitch missed for a ball. 1-2 is the count on Dexter Fowler. No score, just underway. Angels and A's matching up for the first time this spring. Angels will have a home game against Oakland later on this spring on Saturday, the 20th of March, as Fowler fouls another one off, stays alive. And, of course, the two teams will be reacquainted when the regular season begins, although in the opening month of the regular season, the Angels will not play the Oakland A's. It's like the first meeting between the Angels and A's will not be until the 21st of May, which is a little bit hard to believe because the two teams share the AL West, but the first regular season game, Angels in Oakland at the Big A, that'll be a Friday night on the 21st of May. Counts 2-2 here on Dexter Fowler. Kaprielian ready, and the next pitch grounded sharply through on the right side. Trout is going to second. He'll make a turn, but hold there. And Fowler is on. He gets a one-out single. Angels have something in business here. Runners at first and second. And Albert Pujols will be the next batter. Albert's had a couple of RBI hits so far and 4 times up this spring, back in the lineup today. As Kaprielian works, this next pitch is going to be his 20th already here in the first inning. And we've talked about the rule this spring in the Cactus League where managers, after a starting pitcher or even a relief pitcher is on the mound, when they get to the 20-pitch mark, the manager can take his team off the field, and we've seen this happen quite a bit already. Here's the pitch. That went on Albert, off-speed delivery. He takes it a little bit outside. 1 ball, no strikes. They go with a shift on Albert. 3 infielders on the left side. The first baseman, Olsen, is way off the bag over there at first base. Here's the pitch, and Albert was very late on the swing on that pitch. Fooled by that one. Count even, it's 1-1. Olsen, the first baseman, he's probably 35 feet off the bag over there. He's further off the bag than Fowler, but Fowler's getting a gigantic lead off of first because Olsen is playing so far away from the bag. Here's the next one on Albert. He pops one in the air, shallow right field, tight to the line. It's going to drop foul. Olsen, the first baseman, had a long run to try and get to that. Never got to it, and it was shallow down that right side and foul ground. Pinder had no chance on it. So Albert stays alive. Kaprielian, who's on the mound, he's gotten a 2-strike count against every Angel batter, but he's only retired 1, and he pitches with some trouble here. Runners at first and second. Justin Upton waits on deck for the Angels here in the first inning. The A's do not have any action in their bullpen here. And And the pitch. Albert pops it back foul. This one's going to land up above us, out of play. Fans in the stands here today at Ho-Ho-Com Park. And you can see some red in the stands. The Angels visiting dugout is over on the third base side. And that's where majority of fans wearing the red seem to be today, on the third base side. Counts 1-2 on Albert. Kaprelian's next pitch, and Albert waves and misses that one. He struck him out. That looked like a pretty good slider right there. Second strikeout in the inning for Kaprelian. And now the batter will be Justin Upton. Angels looking for a 2-out hit, try and get the early lead here in the first inning. Trout the lead runner at second, and Fowler over there, the runner at first. Here's the next pitch. That one on Upton. He thought about chasing it, holds up. And the count, no balls and 1 strike. When the A's acquired Kaprelian from the Yankees, he was a key piece of that deal when Oakland sent Sonny Gray over to New York. The pitch. This is lifted high in the air in the right center field. Ball carrying pretty well, but it's playable. And under making the catch on it is the right fielder, Chad Pinder, in right center. That'll end the inning. Well, the Angels sent a total of 5 to the plate. Lead 2 on base. Half inning in the books. No score from Mesa. Angels and A's on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West. Shohei Ohtani has completed his warm-up tosses. He's about ready to go as we head to the bottom of the first inning with no score. Mark Canha, Elvis Andrus, and Matt Olson, the first 3 that Ohtani will face. Canha yet to get set in the batter's box. Now he's in there, and Ohtani working from the stretch, delivers, and the first pitch, that's fastball that's cut on and fouled back behind the plate. No balls and 1 strike. A lot of people focused in on this outing today for Shohei Ohtani, who has looked good during the workouts leading into this start. Next pitch, that one is low. It skips by the catcher, Kurt Suzuki. Joe Madden talking about Ohtani today. Joe saying the Angels will indeed go with a 6-man rotation. And Ohtani will start when his day comes up in the rotation. It's not going to be a situation in the past. There's a check swing on a pitch that was up and in. It's fouled back on the right side. Remember, a couple seasons ago, it was Ohtani pitching on Sundays. That was kind of his designated day to start. The Angels aren't going to do that type of thing anymore. He'll start when his spot comes up in the rotation with the 5 other Angel starters. Not sure where Ohtani will stack up in the rotation as far as the starting order. And there's a pitch that's in there that freezes. Canha struck him out looking. Shohei took a little something off that pitch, and so 1 away on the called third strike. Bottom of the first inning being brought to you today by our friends at Rotolo Chevrolet in Fontana, the #1 Chevrolet dealer in California. Rotolo is pursuing excellence every day. You can visit them at rotolo.com. So Shohei today is working exclusively from the stretch. He's ready. Here's the pitch, and that's a fastball right in there for a called strike. We'll try and get some pitch speeds for you today. 0-1 is the count. This is Elvis Andrus, the new A's shortstop, batting. And the next pitch grounds one sharply to third. It skips off the glove of Rengifo, and it caroms down into foul territory. Easily moving up to second base with a stand-up double is Andrus. So he pulled that one. It was hit tight to the line. Rengifo playing third base today for the Angels, and That one just out of his reach, that line hugger up the third base side. And Hefo got a little glove on it. That's why the ball ended up carrying and caromed over into foul territory on the left side. So the batter now with the runner at second. One out is Matt Olson. Olson had an off year offensively in a shortened season a year ago. He hit just 195, but with that said, he had 14 homers and drove in 42 runs. Here's the pitch, and he checks the swing, fouls that one off over on the left side. Olson, a guy who walks a lot, usually has a pretty high on-base percentage for a guy who will strike out. He had 77 strikeouts last year in the 60 games he played in every one of their games last season. Fouls that one back, and Ohtani has 2 strikes on him, so we'll see if he might be able to polish him off here. 0-2 is the count. Olson's also a guy, he's a big guy. He goes about 6'5", 230, and he gets hit by a lot of pitches. Here's the 2-strike delivery, and that one a little bit low. 1-2 is the count. Joe Maddon talking about Ohtani this spring. He's mentioned how his delivery has been a lot more repeatable than a year ago. Very inconsistent in just those 2 starts he made for the Angels and eventually shut down from pitching. Joe hoping to see Ohtani be more of a strike hitter, and so far that's been the case here in his first inning. Show a more consistent delivery, 2-strike pitch, missed outside with that one. The count even, it's now 2 balls and 2 strikes. Shohei Ohtani has also implemented a changeup into his arsenal. He's had the devastating splitter in the past. That was a big pitch for him back in 2018, as that one is fouled off over on the right side. 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Ohtani looks comfortable out on the mound, and that's certainly a key. A lot of talk about Joe Maddon and the coaching staff talking to Ohtani this spring, telling Shohei that they want him to take control of his career and that the Angels aren't putting the kind of limitations they've had on him in the past. Here's the next delivery. There's a swing and a miss, and he struck him out. Olson is down. So both outs in the inning coming on strikeouts. Shohei looking good here in the bottom of the first. And again, he's facing the A's A lineup. They have many, if not close to all their regulars in this lineup, and the batter now will be Matt Chapman. And this will be Chapman's first at bat this spring. Chapman had right hip surgery back in September of last year. He only played in 37 of their 60 games. Here's the pitch. And that one, pitch that is missing for a ball, blocked by Kurt Suzuki. Suzuki and Ohtani might have gotten crossed up on that pitch. 1 ball, no strikes. Chapman last season hit .232, had 10 homers, drove in 25. Outstanding defensive third baseman. SoCal native. Went to El Toro High School. Cal State Fullerton, where he played his college baseball. Here's the 1-0. And that one is up and in. Ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Talking about the Angels trying to take some limitations off of Ohtani in the past when he's been pitching and, of course, DHing for the Angels. Here's the next delivery that's in there for a called strike. 2-1 to count. The Angels have always had Ohtani not hit the day before he pitches and then not hit the day after he pitches. Joe Maddon saying that's not necessarily going to be the case this season. He'll probably not hit the day before he pitches, but the day after, depending on how Shohei feels after pitching, he could DH for the Angels the next day. Here's the delivery, and that's a breaking ball right there. It missed a little bit low and away, so it's now 3 balls and 1 strike. Bottom of the first inning. 4th batter Ohtani facing. Struck out 2 of the first 3. The other one, Andrus, got the double, the hard hit ball up the third base side. It skipped off the glove of Rengifo. Here's the next delivery. That's a breaking ball. That one is low, clearly out of the strike zone. So a walk. And they have 2 on with 2 outs. And Mitch Moreland, newcomer with the Oakland A's this season, will be the next batter. Moreland last year began the season with the Red Sox and then got dealt over to the Padres. Shohei's next pitch will be his 18th here in the first inning. Mitch Moreland a year ago hit .265, .252 career hitter, lefty batter. First pitch. Been outside, it misses. 1 ball, no strikes. Mitch Moreland's been an all-star once in his career. He's won a Gold Glove as a first baseman in the past. He figures to be the DH for Oakland this year. He takes that fastball a little bit outside. Ohtani's fallen behind. It's now 2-0. Moreland signed late in the offseason with Oakland, a 1-year deal. Veteran player, now 35 years old. Scoreless in the bottom of the first here in Mesa. Angels and A's, and the next pitch, and that's in there. A fastball for a called strike. 2-1 the count. Around the infield today, Angels have Albert playing first base, David Fletcher at second, Rengifo at third, and Iglesias at short. Next delivery, it's pop foul. Left of home plate, backing out of play. Angels have what figures to be their regular outfielders out there today. Upton in left, Trout in center, Fowler in right, Suzuki catching, Stassi DHing, and the lineup the Angels have behind Shohei today, pretty close to what you think it might be, except for Rendon not out there. And there's a 2-2 delivery, chased and missed, and that'll end the inning. So in Shohei's first inning this spring, he ends up striking out the side. They had a couple base runners, but failed to score. 1 in the books. Angels and A's scoreless on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West. We go to the second no score here in Mesa. This game is scheduled for 7 innings today. And back out there on the mound is the starter for the A's today, James Kaprielian, and the first delivery that's in there for a called strike on Angels shortstop Jose Iglesias. Each team had runners at first and second in the first inning, but neither team scored, and it's a little bit inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Shohei Ohtani in the first inning, 22 pitches in the inning. Slated to pitch a second inning. He had 13 strikes out of the 22. 7 of his first 8 pitches were strikes today. And the next delivery, a low check swing, left to the mound. Kaprielian, the pitcher, stops it, fumbled it, and still has time. Gets the throw to first for the out. So 1 gone. Kurt Suzuki will be the batter. And this copyrighted broadcast presented by Authority of Angels Baseball may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of today's game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Angels Baseball. Terry Smith and producer-engineer Jorge Sevilla with you here from Ho-Ho-Com Park in Mesa, where we have a beautiful day for baseball. A little warmer today, 77 degrees. Expected to get into the low 80s today. Here's the pitch. That's chopped on the third base side. Good stuff by Chapman. Gets up throwing, and that's going to be in time to get Kurt Suzuki. Well, Chapman is a gold glover over there at third base, and he flashed some gold glove right there. That ball, if it gets by him, maybe Suzuki has a chance for a double, depending on where that ball might have rolled, but it turns out to be an out. Very nice play by the A's third baseman. So 2 up, 2 away. And Max Stassi will be the next batter, and he will be stepping up for the first time this spring. And the first delivery, that one's a little bit low in the top of the first inning. James Kaprielian threw 26 pitches. And here in this inning, he got the first 2 outs on 4. Here's his next pitch. This is fouled back behind the plate. So the count's even. It's 1 ball, 1 strike.